and thank you for joining me in my shed. For those that have been before, welcome back, and for those that are new, please come on in, make yourself at home. We're all friends here. I'm Steve, and I like to try and fix things that might otherwise end up in landfill. But today, as a celebration of my first video in my new shed, I'm going to be trying something a little different. I'm going to be attempting to build and perhaps do a little mini review on this. It is the 8BitCadeXL. Make, game, learn. Let's get making. So for those that saw the last video, I explained at the end that I had this bought for me as a gift from my wife for my birthday in 2022. It was on my Amazon wish list, which you can find in the description. If you enjoy what you see here and like to help out a bit, have a look there. That's the last I'll mention of that. And what it is a little kit to make a games console. So this is it on Amazon. It's the top listing here. So it's the 8BitCadeXL DIY Educational Gaming Kit, Retro Handheld Console for Kids. We're all kids here. Build your own Arduino powered handheld gaming console. Currently unavailable. So if you click on it now, it takes you to the 8BitCade, but it's not the XL. But the kit inside does seem to be basically the same. So there you go. And this one is £34.12. I'll flash up on screen how much that is in other countries. And obviously if you get the XL, it will be slightly more expensive, I suppose. So that's what we got. Let's turn the lights on proper and see what's inside. So on this little card, it's just a little bit about 8bitcade.com. So let's check the parts, and there's a visual guide, and then get making with the make guide. And coding. Can't really read that link, but it does say 8bitcade.com/learn. And turn on your console, enjoy 200 pre-installed games. 8bitcade.com/game/8bitcadeXL. Then there's just a bit on the back with the 8bitcade community, and just a little disclaimer. And now the bits in the box. There's a nice plastic bag to keep a plastic bag of bits in. So we've got 2 plastic bags to keep more plastic bags in. Some resistors, 10 kilo ohms, 330 ohm resistors, 1 kilo ohm, 2 kilo ohm. You got 1 2 kilo ohm, 2 1 kilo ohms, some buttons and some small screws. A little charge port, micro SD. Don't suppose you can see that. So, little micro SD charge port, and there's a little header in there. bag of bits. I won't take all them out just yet. Another bag with headers in, and another port in there. It's another micro SD port, but with 2 header pins this time. Pop that back in there. I'm guessing one's a charge port and one might be an output port, perhaps. Micro SD cable. Let's zoom out a bit. Circuit board, very nice. 8BitCadeXL for the buttons. Done nothing on the back really. And there's a battery there. And finally, in here, there's the XL screen. And it measures, which fits the screen. It's pretty much corner to corner, so 65 millimeters. So it's 58 by 32, and this is the XL version. It looks a lot bigger on there. Oh, actually, no, but it does look like that. You got the wide bezel there and the thin bezel there. Okay, good. So that's the screen. Quick look over the box. Learn to code in C++. Ooh. So I can learn to code, I can just game and make your very own games console. So I've got a feeling once this is finished I'll be able to pretty much turn this into whatever I want. I think the code will be freely available for me to program it how I want, which is what the other port will be for, won't it? It'll be to connect it to the PC so I can have my own code. So heading over to 8bitcade.com/make, the first thing I must do is download a PDF, which is a parts list, and that lists all the parts that I'm going to need for the project. So I am going into this blind. So next is learn, I guess. Game, learn how to install and create games, extra resources, learn, set up your 8-bit. Oh, there's the make guide. So, right, the first thing I need to do is actually build the thing. So I'm going to start making. Oh no, not a YouTube guide. Right, so disappointingly there is no actual guide there's just a YouTube video that you need to watch. So I'm not going to keep flicking between a YouTube video and me building, so I'm just going to build it and refer to the YouTube video as and when I need to. Okay, I'm about ready to go. So yeah, very disappointingly, there is no actual PDF guide on the website, even though the video tutorial says there is not. So I'm just going to have to basically make it up as I go along and just check the YouTube tutorial as and when I need it. Obviously I can't populate this board without knowing what goes where. So first we'll start off just getting some needle nose pliers and just loosen these. And I think what I'll do from here is just say what I'm going to do it. I won't waffle about what every single piece does. We'll just get the pieces on so that the video doesn't drag on too long. I'll just show you what I'm doing and then do it. Right, this may be trickier than I first thought because it asks you to refer to the manuals that don't exist. First job is this. Right, I think, although it doesn't say in the tutorial, the first thing I'm going to do is clean this just to make sure everything is as clean as can be. I mean, it's been in a box, but it's been in a box in the old shed for over a year. So there may be a little bit of corrosion. I mean, it's spotless, but you never know. It's funny how it's a complete kit except for that bit, which is pre-soldered. As if you can't be trusted to do that bit. The first thing to do is to pop these header pins into here, and these header pins into here, and then place the Pro Micro onto those, and then in their kit they have some elastic bands to secure it in place, but not in my kit, so I will use a bread tie or a twist tie. Something else the guy doesn't mention is preheating the board. Now it is quite chilly today. Really, it's the first cold day of the year. So I'm just going to warm the board a little bit. Not too much, I don't want to melt the bread tie. Just want to sort of bring it up to a nice warm state. This is only set to 180, so I'm not going to burn myself, and it shouldn't really melt anything at that. So you can see I'm not using loads of flux on there, just a small amount just to help it along. I'm just struggling a little bit learning the heat transfer on this new tip. These are genuine Hakko tips, never used them before. They're quite cold on the tip and then hotter more towards the curve. So looks like it's going to take a little bit of getting used to, but they are better tips. Hopefully they'll last a bit longer than my old ones. Okay, they're all soldered. So just let that cool down. So know that whenever I solder something and I clean it straight away, that's just editing. I have let it cool down before I start cleaning, because I know that if I start cleaning straight away, then it could shock the solder joints I've just made and cause them to fail. Okay, that should be good enough. I mean, I'll give it a proper good cleaning when it's finished, and probably even give it a dunk in the ultrasonic bath. Oh look, I've got a solder bridge. Now, I bet you all saw that before me. Right, now that I'm happy with those, it's time just to cut the long pins off. So it's only the long side, and it's just a case of just snipping just above the solder. That's absolutely rubbish. Can you see the way it's gone lovely and low, and then it just goes up and up and up and up? You see, I really could do with my other side cutters. These are just a bit big. I don't know where my other ones are. Okay, so they're all good now. Right, the next item is the toggle switch, which is in this bag. Yeah. So these legs have to be 90 degrees, and you can see that they're not quite 90 degrees. Better. Just line those up, and then it should just click in to place, and the switch should lie flush with the board. There we go, lovely. And then solder that into place. Good. Next part out of the bag is the voltage regulator. Flux these up ready. And the voltage regulator just pops in. You know it's the right way because it's going to lie flat there into the hole, and then bend it over. So I've lined that up with a hole, and then I'm just using a massive Irwin clamp to make sure it doesn't move. So it's pretty much lined up with a hole, and they're soldered in well. Okay. Oh, I do not like these side cutters at all. The next part is this 90-degree header. And these go like that. They have to be held at 90 degrees. So it says use some blue tack, and I might just do that because I think these are going to move. If I flip that over and try to solder it, it's going to move. So I'm going to get some blue tack to hold these in place. But blue tack is something else I can't find right now, so I'm going to have to use something else just to try and hold that in place. I think probably just tape will do it. There we go, it's flat to the board. Seat it up a bit, it's been a while. Okay, good. Right, we're on to resistors next. So first the three 10k resistors. Right, so I'm just going to grab the three and bend the legs over. So they're approximately 90 degrees. And they should just slip quite nicely into these. And there is a 1k resistor. And it's a couple of diodes, isn't it? So let's solder those resistors into place first. trim all those legs off again. These horrendous side cutters, they really are terrible. Right, next we'll fill in these 330k resistors, a 2k resistor and a 1k resistor. So it doesn't matter which way round you put these in. I'm just going to try and make them look the same. Then the 1k resistor. That's the bottom one. And the 2k resistor. Perfect. So it's getting a bit glued up now, so I'm going to give it a quick clean. Nothing major. So it's really important that the diodes are oriented the right way. So we take the diode and the white line there has to match with the black piece there. I think I'll do this under the microscope just to make it easier to see. Right, so the white line on the silk screen print there has to match with the black part of the diode. So same as before, bend them into shape. So they're correct. So this is where the LED goes here, and if I hold it this orientation, this longest pin is the positive pin. So that's like a capacitor where the longest one is bigger, so it's more positive, so it's longer. That's how I remember it. The positive is plus, so it's bigger. And then that pin also bends out, so you got pin, trying to show it here, let me grab a pick. So it now goes from left to right, 1, 2, 3, 4, with pin 1, 2, 3, 4. And that longest one is the positive, which goes there, marked positive. So push the positive one forward slightly and the right hand side one forward slightly, and then they should then more or less match the holes. 1, 1, 2, oh dear. It's a bit of a juggle because you've got to try and line all 4 up at the same time, and then it'll just go in. There we go. The buzzer next. Here it is. There's a plus, and then here where the buzzer is fitted, which is here, there's a plus and a minus. So just line them up, pop them in, and solder them in place. Next is actually these 2 capacitors here, a 22 microfarad. Then, like the LEDs, the long leg is plus, and also on the capacitor itself, the grey part, the small part, the small painted part, marks the minus. This is a 104 micro Henry capacitor. That's going in here. Next, apparently, is the dip, and this is it. This is the memory, and this is the dip that you plug it into. One small thing to note is this cutout here corresponds to this cutout here. Now the advice is to bend over 2 of the legs of the dip. That one and the top one, which will secure it in place. Right, so there's 7 buttons to do next. 6 of them are the same, and then 1 of them is different. So there are 6 like this, which are square ended, and there's 1 extra tall one which goes here. So the tall one's the reset button. So that's all them soldered. I'm now going to give it a quick clean because we're doing the battery board next. I want to make sure there's nothing underneath that before we start. Here I've got 4 of the cut off resistor legs, and that is going to secure this into place before I solder it. And the first thing is to just fold that to a 90 degree, pop it in a hole, and then fold the other side back 90 degrees to form a little clip. I'll do that for all 4 holes. Now the idea is that they will hold it in place whilst I fill these holes with solder. I'm just checking because on the instructions it says to make sure that there's no bridge between the USB port and the soldering here, and also this side, but this is clearly joined and this all looks the same, part of the same circuit. So I'm thinking I must have a revised board, because on the video it also shows a gap here. Okay, that's nicely in place. Just snip away them guide wires. I think I'll just add a bit of solder to the back as well. Belts and braces. And that's it for soldering components. All I need to do now is fit the memory. And that's here. And now I found out what the cutout was for, because there's one in the memory chip. Yeah, you see it right at the top there. So that has to correspond with the dip there. So what I'm going to do now is clean this up. I'm going to put it in the ultrasonic bath for an half an hour, get it nice and clean, and then it's soldering the screen time. Excellent. So I'll get on with this and I'll start recording again when it's cleaned. Okay, so it's had a bath in the ultrasonic cleaner. I'll put it in there for 30 minutes at 70 degrees in a solution of water and sodium percarbonate, which is the OxyClean stuff. I haven't found anywhere to recommend that, but it's what I like to use. It works quite well on watches and things, and it's worked well on this as well. It's also been rinsed in alcohol or IPA, and it's spent a night on the radiator to dry out properly. So I think now we're actually on the home straight. So the next instruction is to put on this memory chip, and I think I said, not sure. So the cutout in the chip there aligns with the cutout on the holder there. Okay, it's the screen next, and these spacers. These spacers are for the battery board. This part. But in this bag there are screws and spacers. Pop them in here. And the screws are coming from the screen side. And secured with a spacer. it's now going the long side, goes in. And the screen locates into these 4 holes. And the header pins. So these are 4mm nuts. I'm going to try my best to put it onto the screw and then use a 4mm driver out of my iFixit kit to pop it on. Yeah, that's on. It might be slightly smaller than 4mm because it seems to spin as it gets to the end. They're definitely not 3.5, so somewhere in between, probably some metric size, probably some imperial size. Well, unfortunately my MoScope footage is corrupted and unplayable, and as there was no other cameras focused on the board at the time, this is after I'd finished soldering the header pins. I didn't use any other flux, and this footage now is just as I'm cleaning the flux residue that was already in the solder wire. Okay, connecting the battery next. Let's flip it over and make sure it's switched off. So these are the acrylic spacers. They came like that, looking like cardboard. I didn't realise they were acrylic. So peel it off, make sure the alignment's right with the buttons. Then it's one of the screws and a spacer. Can you hear the rain? It's so relaxing, it's like being in the caravan. That one. And now it's the buttons. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What's that one? That one must be the reset. It seems silly to do this with a battery attached. Taking it off. Starting to look like a console. Then pop the cover in. These are spacers from earlier. It's a tight fit, especially against, you see the battery against the charge board. That's the charge board. Let's see what I can do about that. So the battery is tight against that post and the battery plug. Very tight. The battery's on the wrong way. The battery should be this way around, because it's the wires that's fouling here. Have a look at the video for this one. Yeah, on the video the battery's facing the other way. Put it there like that. Then put that on. Let's trim down the screen connector. It was sticking up a bit high, rubbing the battery. I don't really want them piercing that. I mean, I could get a thinner pad. That would probably do it just as well. Let's have a look now. Okay, yeah, that all sits there now, does it? Almost there. That battery placement is critical. Because it's rubbing on that black nut. That should be it now. Yeah, that's clear. There we go, that's a lot better now. Still don't like that. Nice, okay. I hope this is a protective bag that I'm scratching up. It doesn't want to come off. There we go. Lovely. And apparently that's it. Two things left to do. First one, peel this back, which I can't do. Lovely. And then switch it on without charging. So let's see. What? That doesn't seem right. Okay, that's my fault. There's a button there trapped. And now, turn it on. Lovely. Then there's supposed to be a test screen. Select maintenance. Battery test. Ooh. Switch right charge. Okay, so I guess it needs charging. Let's turn the lights down a bit. Okay, it's a bit better. It's a nice screen, there's no flicker on that, is there? So be back. Nope. Nope. Switch right charge. Nope. 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 Okay, let's turn it off. Hardware test. The lights work. Oh, that makes a noise. Can you hear sound? It says. Let me put this up against the microphone and see if it, see if you can pick it up. Hear sound? Yes, just. So yeah, they all seem to be working anyway, don't they? I'm going to press the reset button. Okay, it takes me back, so that must work. Assistant, maintenance, battery test. That's all there is to do. Just press buttons. Okay. Give you a bit of a close-up of the screen. We've got favourite games, we've got apps. Okay, how did that happen? Favourite games, apps. Okay. Asterox. A play. Ooh. Well, it's difficult. There's no sound coming from it. It seems to work. Which one's C? Must be that. Racing game. No, it just goes back to the last game. Oh, A plays last, B's burn and play. Oh. Oh, B was sound on and off, so there might be sound with that. Let's try it again. I can't hear anything. I used to play Farkle. Press play on tape. Farkle is Yahtzee, isn't it? Yeah, it is. It's Yahtzee. Okay. Roll. I'm going to keep that. I'm going to keep that. One. Oh, 5 at a time. I got a Farkle. Still no sound. So I think I might be able to do this now. I'll go this. No. I'll go up to there and then go right. I can then go racing. Then I'll go down. Oh, there's no racing games. Or is it frozen? Oh, it's Farkle. I keep pressing A because it's natural to press A. But I think do this, press B, I still get Farkle. Definitely no racing games on here. Do you know, I want to play Space Invaders. This does not look like Space Invaders to me. Oh. Space Cat. No? Oh, there we go. Oh, can you hear the sound? Let's get the microphone on that. Ouch. Right, don't know that game, don't like it. Star Trek. It's the Starship Enterprise in all its glory, look at that. Amazing graphics. Destroy 25 Klingons in 250 days. There are 3 easies. the distance. Warp engines is damaged. Hey. Hopefully this is the one. Oh, it's glitched. Oh no. Try again. Favorite games. Space Invaders. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful. Look at that. No sound whatsoever. How do you die? Okay, so there's the battery going on. So I'm going to put this on charge and have a little play about with it. But for now, that's it, I should think. I mean, it's alright. It's a thing. It works. I think I'd call it a success overall. It's a nice little thing. It works, that's the main thing. Might be nice just to take along in the lorry every now and again so I can have a little game rather than watching YouTube on my breaks. Plus there's the coding side of it as well, so you can go to 8BitCade and you can learn and start with foundation courses and code your way to creating your own games. So can't see me doing that. But there's more games that you can download as well from the gaming section on 8BitCade. So yeah, I mean, it's been a long time since I've done any soldering, so it was nice to have a little bit of practice. And yeah, I've ended up with a nice little toy that I can pick up when I want. So I'll close the video there. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like it and subscribe. We'll be doing more video. I will be doing more repair videos in the very near future. So yeah, thank you once again, and I'll see you next time in the shed. Bye bye now.